Boy, oh boy, was today pretty crazy. So if you look at the screen, you can see that I absolutely crushed it in terms of consistency. I traded SYBX for $920. I actually mistakenly traded on ANIX for $46. I made $2,100 on VERU. I made 66 bucks on NEO. I made $1,700 on ANPC. I made $400 on EVLO. I lost $2,704 on Ruby. I made $48 on FIXX, and I made $523 on BCDA. Overall, my consistency was 88% today. I was at 100% consistency or 100% accuracy day before I traded Ruby. And the P&L looks so much better right now than it did. I got some live trades coming up for you guys, and you're going to witness me lose $15,000 on the short trade that I was in with Ruby. So I almost got thrown for an absolute shit show today. I was green $5,000, shorted big size on Ruby, went down 15 grand, took the trade off, so I was down 10,000 on the day. Then I reshorted, made back like more than 10,000 to finish my day at a green day of $2,780 after commission. So I will tell you this, the most important thing coming up, aside from the live trades, is when you have a system and you have a strategy that you follow in the market that produces you with regular returns, you can get a little overconfident in that approach, which can lead you to being overconfident and taking on more risk than maybe you should have, or entering positions too early. And that's exactly what happened with Ruby today. I didn't fully understand the move. You're even going to hear me when I'm trading live. I'm like, this doesn't make sense that it keeps going up. And sure enough, I ended up being right, but I just timed it incorrectly. So I did one poor trade today, and that was on Ruby. Everything else was pretty much 100% accuracy trading to the green side. So I hope you guys like these live trades coming up. I hope you like to witness me losing $15,000. That did not feel good. But I'm happy that we were able to keep our composure, move it into a green day. Now throughout the rest of the week, I'm going to try to kind of scale back a little bit and be a little bit more conservative on my approach to trading for the next week, and then move into the following week. So hopefully we can keep this all green this week. We almost got caught off guard today. So live trades coming up. Hope you guys like it. Stay tuned. All right, market's open. VERU still kind of pushing up some. So adding short on ANPC, I got 400 shares short here. Average is 830. So we're going to move ANPC here. Going to keep SYBX up on another screen for the time being. Maybe looking for a move on ANPC more down towards 776. So added more, almost to 1,000 shares short, got 900 short. Going to look for a move down towards 765. Average is 836. Nice move down there. ANPC, not quite the move we need, but working in the right direction. And you got to move down to 766 would be nice. About to break that pre-market kind of dip support. In the event we do, we should snap. Little hold off that level. Gonna add some short on top of this green candle with ANPC. Add a little more short on top of that candle. So now in 1,200 shares short. And then of course, looking for a move below, you know, basically like the $8 price, 8.10. Still got bidders holding this up though, so. Looks like VERU starting to get a little heavy. All right, there's that candle sold all the way back into, looking for the move down to 765 on ANPC to cover into. Nah, they're still kind of holding that level, but I don't trust it. Adding more short on top of this green candle with ANPC. Add a little more short now to 1,700. Wow. Now that feels arguably a little strong. Looks like they're going to force a squeeze on ANPC, maybe? Really? Just started going red on that trade with ANPC, but I don't trust it. Still holding short that 1,700 shares. We kind of just rolled back down. Still looking for that move to go below that pre-market low place and head towards 766. All right, good move down. Starting to cover into that move. So pretty much all out of that play. All right, pretty much all out of ANPC on that drop. Didn't quite hit the 765 yet. But now just going to hold these 300 share short bias for maybe the remainder of the day for the time being. Still think that should fade out a little more. And with 300 shares, we'll make a little bit off that. So that was a good move. P&L is going to be up to 3,600 bucks now in the day. So almost pushing on the $4,000 day here. So that's good. All right. Yeah, VERU still kind of struggling. SYBX is not doing what we would need it to do to be a long for right now. It kind of looks like VERU is just hanging on by a thread. Yeah, so VERU still got those 275 shares on the short side with VERU. Not going to add to it, just going to hold. Just because I don't want to. I'm good. It's already kind of underway. We've moved quite a bit. Target with VERU is still going to be down towards that 878 for right now, as far as 820 for the time being. T, did you hammer a short there on VERU? And if you did, nice job. Good work. Looks like some things are finally hitting the scanner. ATOM just hit our scanner. That's strong move on the day so far. GATO hit the scanner. RFIL hit the scanner. Yeah, I mean, so far a couple things have hit the scanner, but nothing that I'm super crazy in. MMED, I haven't seen that, but I'll take a look. When did I have open orders on ANPC that started getting filled or something? Oh, well, somehow I'm back in 700 shares long on ANPC, which is kind of odd. Oh, I'm long ANPC? How did that happen? I don't even know. Well, I'm gonna sell that. I just got lucky. I don't even know how that happened. Oh, I think I know how that happened. Yeah, never mind. But anyway, somehow I just mustered up a long and actually won on that, so that's cool. Let me check Neo. Haven't seen that yet today. Let's see how that's moving. Up, so Neo turned into a long today, bounced up. That's good. I still think overall it's gonna be we're still gonna go lower as a whole on that stock. Yeah, maybe a little green bounce day here. Well, daily chart is coming up to that level. So if this wants to stay bearish on the day, if Neo wants to stay bearish on the day, it's going to stay below. Yeah, it's going to stay below, excuse me, the $41 price. That's kind of the rejection short area is 41. It's already started selling off that level a little bit, but it's nothing intense or too crazy. TLGT ended up turning into a nice long move, so that started popping. GATO, I'm not a big fan of. It's just too thinly traded, not enough volume there for me. Did PTON end up jumping on the day? Yes, it did. Very good. Neo selling down off that $41 price point still. It would be important for the bears to get Neo back below 40.27, and it would be important for the bulls to hold Neo above 40.27. And if they can't, then you could still be looking at a bearish day for Neo. Snow, let me see. There goes Neo retesting that 40.75 price. Snow is at 3 deviations on the downside for the day. So this is sort of that lower risk bottom to be long off of, unless Snow is coming from a really high point on the long-term chart, which it's not. It's already been selling down. So arguably you're at a low risk entry long bias on Snow right now. I think though, overall, we might see Snow down towards prices of 326 here pretty soon. To 326 I think is a target for Snow on this, essentially this overall bearish move with the stock. Got some long bias traders coming back in on that ANPC trying to push it up. Part of me thinks they're going to fail. Stock's still going to move lower. Nothing crazy on the scanner right now that would make me want to trade. Might add a little more short bias on ANPC. I still think it's going to roll down. So adding back in short ANPC now in 300 shares short bias. Didn't quite get the high of that previous kind of green candle and red candle. Still think we're susceptible to going down, but also we could maybe see like another up move. That's why I'm keeping it at 300 shares currently and not averaging or going in heavier, because I still think it's possible we get a green candle to pop up before it goes lower. So we'll see how this plays out. VERU still going lower, still have the 275 shares short with that stock. Looks like ANPC has got some strength here. We're going to go through a little squeeze move. Added another 100 shares short. Now in 600 short with ANPC. If this move's going to work, we'd be looking to see ANPC, back down towards, 769. A lot of buyers there, though. Still holding her up. If that long move fails and we get a red candle to come next, I could see that snapping the stock down. But that's a relative volume spike to the upside. And then we had more sellers coming on the top of it. We got candle's about to close. This candle's red. Yeah, if this candle can start getting below the previous green body of like 821, that would be good for the bears, myself included. But yeah, it's still holding up pretty strong. I don't think it's going to go, though. The bounce is going to fail and we roll down. EVLO hit the scanner. I just noticed it now, but that is on the scanner. Strong move on the day. Arguably a little on the light side of the volume. Volume's a little lighter on that. Wow. Okay, so there goes another kind of squeeze off the top with ANPC. Still holding on the short side. There we go. There's a drop. We just dropped back down to some slight support, but I think we're going to break here and we're going to go more towards, yep, there it goes, towards 776. What are they saying? 776, yeah, 772. So we basically just made most of the bear move. The question is, can we break that? There we go. Beautiful. All right, covering some on ANPC in that drop. Only have 200 shares short. So going to just keep the 200 shares short on ANPC for right now, because it's not like it's going to make me lose a bunch of money. And, so really, even if we trade sideways, we go up a little bit, nothing's really going to happen to me with the 200 shares. So just going to keep the 200 shares short, see if it goes lower. If it bounces, that's fine. But that sort of candle down really sets us up for maybe a bearish kind of fading day. So just going to keep ANPC short bias, 200 shares, because why not? That's great. So that gets the day over $4,000, so 4,300 bucks on the day now. And Neo going to dump. That is something that I'm playing around with on the bottom. It's a new study. I haven't even looked at it once today. So, oh, what do you know? A phone call from a telemarketer. Very nice. Get out of my life. All right. Neo to dump. Yeah, Neo. I mean, it does definitely look a little heavy. We did think it could go bearish, so maybe I'm gonna bring up Neo. Before I do that, I think I'm good on VERU short. I mean, I did a pretty darn good job at that. So just going to take that off. I don't even care. I'm just going to mark it out of that. All right. So all out of VERU. Neo definitely looks a little heavy here. So we might follow Neo for a short move. How's the market doing today? It's a good question if we're going to go into some large cap now. I mean, I didn't add more on VERU because I don't know. I was already because I didn't get the low risk entry, right? The low risk entry is up at 1035 and it already faded out since then. So I was really more or less kind of chasing the move down, and I was like, nah, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay with not doing that. All right. Yeah, EVLO is halted. It's a lower volume mover. That's why I'm not as interested in it. Spreads will be a little bit of pain. Fills are harder. So the question would be, can NEO here reclaim the price of 40.27? If it can't, then I think we fall back down. So watching NEO here, it's got to reclaim that 40.27 price. So I'm going to take a small short, 200 shares, just because we came back up to retest that 40.27 price. And if it's meant to be a bearish move on the day, we should start going lower from this point. Right? If it's really meant to go low, this would be a reasonable rejection point around this 40.26 price as we come back up and bounce to it. And if it's meant to be a long, I think we'll reclaim the price of 40.27. So still holding 200 shares short bias. There goes NEO starting to roll down. Very nice. If we can get below the lows of 39.85, then we might as well just target down to 39.66. So again, if NEO comes down below previous price action of 39.85, just anticipate price is going to go down towards 39.66 on this short move. Okay, we're close to getting below those lows. We still got to test them. This is the first attempt at breaking those lows, but it looks very heavy, so I think we'll be good. So up about 40 bucks on the play with NEO. Again, it's a 200 share short, so nothing super dramatic. Didn't feel as comfortable taking big size off that level. Even though it's a good level, I didn't feel comfortable taking monster size there. So just added 200. See if 200 fades a bit more. Beautiful. There goes that break of the low. Target's going to be down to that 39.66 price. We're at 39.73, 39.72. So we're 5 cents off target there. I'm still holding short. It's very possible we do a little bounce move here. I'm debating whether or not we can break that trend. I think we can. Something tells me that we're able to break trend at 39.60 and continue lower. So just going to hold the 200 shares. Or maybe I'll cover a little bit. I mean, it was a good trade. It's always good to take some profit, right? But if I take off shares, then I don't really have much to hold if it fades. So we'll give it another second here. See if we can actually move down to 39.66. We never actually touched the trend. So still a strong possibility we move down to actually touch trend there. Buyers are starting to come in a little bit though. All right, took off majority of that trade. Because whatever. So holding 50 shares short NEO as we go into that trending support. If it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, it bounces. And so I locked in most of that trade. I mean, it was already a good trade. If you took big size on it, you made a killing. So, I mean, we captured most of the short in the immediate there. And now the question is, does the market actually break 39.66? I think it can, but I'm just not willing to put on more risk for the time being. My day's up to 4,300 green, so I'm happy. I would anticipate that we had a little hold here, maybe a little bounce. So I'm not surprised we're getting this green candle. We just touched our target of 39.66. I think we hit a low of 39.68, 39.67. So we pretty much got the target. Let's see if it's heavy enough to go below. And if it does, it's just going to snap to all hell, I think, based on the way that's set up. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I got to hop to the bathroom. All right, there goes our Neo move, still going lower. We broke that trend. Doesn't mean that we can't bounce still, but we did successfully get below it. If the move is going to continue lower on Neo, we want to see candles closing below the price of 365 now. The current candle we're on came back up to trend and then rejected it. So that's so far what you would need to see the move continue lower, yet it doesn't seem like there's a ton of selling pressure. So candles coming back up now. Like I said, you want to see candles closing below the trend of 39.60. So far, they're not. So we're just going to sit. I don't really have a reason to cover on this short. It's not like it's going to crush me if it goes up or anything of that nature. So still just kind of sitting on the short. Looks like EVLO is unhalted maybe. That's a big gap. I'm going to probably add a little short on EVLO. So added 300 shares short to EVLO. Now in 500 shares short, average price is 1068. So anything below 1068 would put me in the green. Added a little more short on EVLO up to 800 shares short now. See if we can come back down and start to close that gap in the 1 minute chart with a target maybe back down towards 961. Also, Ruby, R-U-B-Y, is hitting the scanner right now. I don't know why. Average on EVLO is 1080. So again, anything below 1080, be in the green. Wow, big bidders right at 11 just came in like crazy. Yeah, they're still holding that move up pretty well there on EVLO. Wonder why it's moving. I don't see really any news on it though. Added a little more short on EVLO, up to 1,000 shares short now. And it would be nice to see EVLO back down to the price of 1025 and then maybe even through that to fill that gap. But for now, just looking for a move down to 1025. The spread is pretty wide. They're not allowing, it's not easy to get out of this yet until the spread flips in my favor. Definitely have increased selling now on this. All right. Still red. Again, would still like to see a move to 1040. Looks like VERU went through a really strong squeeze there. So that stock is pumping up now. Wouldn't be on the short side of that for the time being. Okay. This might be the move we're looking for down on EVLO. Target is now 1056. So we won't see a big payout on the short move unless we're to break 1056. We still have people bidding this up, surprisingly. There's the down move to the 1056. Now the question is, can we get below this price? With the spread, they're really not making it possible for me to make any money on this. Yeah, we have to get below. Yeah, we'd have to get below that deviation to even make money on this trade now. Yeah, they're magically still holding it up pretty well. Still have a big gap to fill though. So we're still looking to move through the low of like 1070. Hopefully we can get the gap fill. That would be awesome. Average is 1090, so really the bid's at 1090, ask is at 1096, so down about, maybe 6 cents still. Spread just flipped in my favor a little bit, but, ask is still 1090. Starting to move in the right direction. Target might be 997 now. So slightly in the green here with EVLO. Still have pretty decent selling pressure, going to remain short. Again, the spread's pretty wide, so it doesn't make it very easy. Definitely need some sellers to come in so we can buy into the sellers. Okay, this might be the move we're looking for. Again, target's going to be about 1016. Covered a little bit. Covering a little more, trying to. Pretty much all out of the play. Still haven't filled the gap. Still got 200 shares short. So big squeeze there on AN, or whatever this is called back up. EVLO. All right, so all done with that trade, netted 408 bucks. It was a little challenging, so anyways, all out of the move there. VERU is still moving pretty good, so that's going to get the P&L up to $4,800 on the day. That one was a little tricky. That was a little challenging. Okay, still in the short on NEO. I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, NEO is just kind of hanging out, so I don't really see a need for me to be in NEO anymore based on how it's moving. So covered my 50 shares with NEO. Still have those 200 shares short on ANPC, which is still fading down. So there's no reason for me to really cover ANPC. We'll probably continue to see that move lower throughout the day, I believe. Yeah, so looking over at VERU, it's, it's a little interesting. Super strong squeeze right back into resistance. So this is typically a point where short sellers would try to sell this move down again. If they're wrong, it keeps squeezing, but there's a good chance this pulls back more than what we've already seen because, again, we ran right up into resistance. So we'll see. I mean, it was a strong squeeze. I don't really want to add short here. It's a common setup where it squeezes up like this and then it falls short. But something about this just feels like the momentum's too strong that I don't want to be a seller on it. but I'm also not comfortable at the long price. I would want it long down here. So longing where we're at is really just hopeful that the momentum continues. You're not coming from a low risk bottom. You're entering at a higher risk top. So I'll leave it alone on the long side. FIXX, I will definitely take a look. Hold on. Wow, FIXX, that's running. That's strong so far. FIXX is overbought in the immediate, so I could see this turning into a short. Gonna start going in short on FIXX. So now up to 300 shares short, FIXX. We have the 200 moving average coming in around 1275. We have 3 deviation resistance coming in at 1265, and the daily chart resistance is coming in. We touched it at a high of 1251. So all around this area to me is a resistance point. That's a good move down from FIXX. I could cover now and just lock in the money. I'm going to. So I'm all out of FIXX. It was a smaller position, 300 shares, netted 48 bucks. It never fully touched maybe where I wanted it to go. So in the event we kind of push up one more time into this resistance, might add short again. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tickers traded today and no reds. FIXX, it is easy to borrow. I just now see that. Thank you for mentioning that. So yeah, I still think possible for FIXX to go a little higher. So if it goes up to like 1275, we'll re-add. It could definitely fade out from here. I was on this fence of like maybe watching it go back up one more time, and then I would maybe consider re-adding. LAZR for a bounce. I mean, it's coming down hard today. I don't see it really being on low risk support. So no, I probably wouldn't be long bias LAZR for right now. VERU still fighting that high point that it's at right now. Hasn't pulled back, starting to though. Boom, there goes the drop. So if you look at VERU, obviously you're going to see it's coming down. And that's why I mentioned you did not want to be going long on that top. You're very susceptible to a breakdown. So anybody that was longing that top is now stopping out, and anybody who is going short is now covering in and buying back all the shares that those longs are selling. So everybody who longed the top here is now selling, and anybody who shorted the top is buying what they're selling. I'm looking at REPH. It's moving long bias, and I don't really have. I mean, I guess it is there, but yeah, I don't really have much resistance for REPH currently. So I could say REPH has a possibility to maybe go a little higher on the day. How did that EVLO end up playing out, huh? Oh, that's what it did. Still potential short move there. Lower on the volume side though, so I'm just gonna hold off. I'm good. But I do think that still has a gap fill down to 982. So it's still susceptible to pulling down to fill that gap on the day. Let's go look. Ooh, glasses. Let's go take a look at NEO really quickly just to see what its progression's like now. So again, just added short. VERU averages 1017. So anything below 1017 will make some money on. In short 400 shares currently. Willing to add more depending on the progression of this move. Added up some more short in 900 short on the top of that green candle, looking to break 1016 and maybe flush a little bit. Average is 1019, so anything below 1019 would be in the green. Dip's holding pretty well so far. So added more short, up to 1,200 shares short on VERU. Looking for the snap to come in pretty much now. Average is 1018. Anything below 1018 is green. All right, there goes a nice move down. VERU. I think we can get a little lower overall, so just going to remain short. A lot of sellers coming in on the level 2 now at 996 and 998. RUBY is back unhalted. Still in short here with VERU. Covering some on this drop, only in 400 shares short now. That got the day over 5,000 green. So only holding 300 shares short. We didn't get the full snap that I was looking for, but that's okay. So just holding the 300 shares now. Going to take VERU off the screen and going to put up this RUBY. Kind of interesting to see this move doing what it's doing. If VERU gets up to, like, again, that 10, what's the price? 10:06 or so. Probably would look to add some short on it. So adding some short here on Ruby in 800 short. I could be wrong. This could still be a very strong stock for the day, but all right, in a total of 800 shares short with Ruby. We're starting to pull back a little bit on this candle. There's definitely a divergence going into that high with Ruby. It's a strong bounce though. Added some more short on Ruby there. VERU is breaking down some more, so that's good. Still just going to remain short on VERU with those 200 shares. Added more short on Ruby there. Up to 1,700 shares short now. Average on Ruby's 996. So added more short to Ruby in 2000. It's still holding really good here around this 10 to 1030 price. Again, it's interesting because it's moving on no news, at least that I'm aware of. So added up more short onto Ruby, up to 4,000 shares short. Wow, that's impressive. Big loss. All right, so that looks like it might get halted. Okay. Yeah, I'm very impressed that that went through a bounce like that, squeezed all the way back up through the high, continued through long-term resistance. So I don't know, just gonna have to play this one by ear for a sec, wait for it to unhalt. Sucks, gave back big chunk of money on that play. So far, 2,800. Don't want to turn my day red, that would be dumb. Average is 1021. So average is like right there. So we've gone from 5 to 10. That's pretty good. All right, going to close out the trade on VERU. All right, going to close out on ANPC too as well. And now just dealing with good old Ruby Magoo. Yeah, so just sitting, just gotta wait till we get open here on a Ruby and see what it's made of. Yeah, it's easy to buy. Yeah, I know it's running on no news. That's the interesting part. Ruby starting to smack down there. Well, it did. Beautiful move on Ruby. Gonna hold this still. So we're back in the green, 500 bucks to 100 bucks, back red. So just kind of flirting around still. Added a little more short now in 4,300 shares short. Would love to see it back down to say like 948. So in 5,100 short, that is. I still see it as overbought. Give it a second. So added a little more short bias there. It looked like we had some sellers coming in. So average is 1029. I'd have to go below 1029 to be in the green. It still looks like we got some pretty decent selling up here. Jeez. Why is it running on no news? That's my question. To me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for it to continue running like this with no news to back it. Yeah, so giving back obviously the green day here. I just really want to see a corrective move. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe I don't understand it. We're gonna give it a second, try and see our next kind of pullback, see what occurs here. Ruby's on SSR, huh? Yeah, the squeeze went further than I thought it would, that's for sure. The target back down on the downside would be the first deviation, which is right at about 1017. So even if we came all the way back down 2 hour trending support, it wouldn't even really be a green trade. It'd probably be like break even to even a small loss. So it looks like it's getting halted now. Or well, at least it was about to. I added a little more on the top here. I can see the person who keeps bidding it up too. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to sit in this for a little bit. I mean, I'm definitely, underwater. We haven't really seen a dump. We haven't really seen this get tested on the downside for a bit. Target right now is about 1035 on the downside. My average is 1039. Yeah. So, I mean, below 1039 would put me in the green. Anything to 1039 would make it a break even trade. So basically $1 down from this point. So it's a step in the right direction. The average is 1039. Thinkorswim, come on, it's moving so slow. Wow. That's just insane. We went from having about 5 grand in the day to -6 on this squeeze here. And I mean, we just pulled back to 3 deviations and held. Yeah, maybe it's just not going to be the winning trade today, bud. Yeah, I'm about to give it another second here, but pretty much getting ready to take it off if I pretty much already have to. We'll see, because this could be the last off the top push, and then we kind of fade back down. It's common we see those setups. I mean, it's really hard for me to take the trade-off knowing the stock's running with no news. Jeez. Really gonna, it like that's what I'm saying. Is it really gonna keep squeezing on a no news move? Maybe it will. I guess so. Guess I'm the fool for the day. All right, so taking the loss, accepting the move, which sucks. All good, but 10 grand down in the day, that's rough. That's what it is. Really surprised it did that. I guess I don't understand it. Yeah, now it will drop. Yeah, makes sense. Watch. All good. Oh, that's painful. So painful to be up 5 grand to down 10,400. Oh, hurts. Guess it's the first. I mean, I've been consistently actively short almost every single stock, so I guess it was bound to happen eventually. Yeah, that blows. But yeah, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of, yeah, exactly. Not seeing any company specific news to keep the move going, yet it still keeps going up. Maybe it has to do with it being on SSR. That could have been it. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? Nothing. So I'm gonna call my day there and move into tomorrow. Hopefully we can do our job better tomorrow. So we got $10,000 on the loss today. All right, guys, I will catch everybody back here in a little bit for mentoring. But other than that, I will see everybody here and back in just a little bit.